What's going on, y'all? As y'all know, I went to the auction a couple weeks ago to get this next flip project. So every time I buy a used vehicle, no matter from the auction or buy from a person, there's a reason why they sold it. No one, I guess I'm the only idiot that fixes everything with a car and then sells it. But this one, you know, most people have a problem with it and they give up on it and they sell it. So going through this one, easy to figure out what's wrong with this one, why they sold it. It drives fine. The front shocks are done. Need to replace those shocks. That's like 50 bucks for a pair of shocks, no big deal. That's not why they sold it. They sold it because of the transmission. I got it all opened up, and there's the pan. Here's the pan, and here's one of the filters that go inside, and there's another filter that goes inside. So first, I dropped the pan and replaced that filter and this filter to see if that was the problem. Sometimes you got too low of fluid, transmission fluid, it'll shift funky too. But nope, the problem this one was having is when you put in reverse and you give it gas, it would like slip. It wouldn't back up, so reverse gear was gone. So that's why they sold this truck. Anyway. So doing my homework, I checked, make sure it had enough fluid in it. That wasn't the problem. I checked that both those dirty filters, I replaced them. And after replacing the filters and the new fluid, it go into reverse, but when you give it a lot of gas, it would still slip, like it wouldn't pull all the way in reverse. So you just barely touch the gas and it would back up a little bit. So the next step is, I took this is the main valve body. This is what this piece plugs up into this whole section here. And the main computer goes up through that hole. This is where the main computer for the transmission plugs up right here. This is the shift solenoid, controls everything, the brains of the transmission. But anyway, I was doing my research and it says a lot of times these three seals is 1, 2, 3. These three seals is what connects the oil pan where the fluid is up into the solenoid to control, the gear shifting. So these seals are notorious for going bad, and if it doesn't get enough pressure from the fluid, then it won't fully engage the gear. So I knew the transmission wasn't bad because it would go in the gear, it wasn't enough pressure to hold the reverse. So these three seals are like $3 each, and you got to order them. None of the dealerships even have these seals. I had to order them from some warehouse in Michigan. So this seal looks good, this seal looks good, and here's the problem. You see how these seals are perfectly smooth around the edge, inside and outside. And this one is smooth inside and outside. And if you look at this one on the edge, I don't know how well you can see that, but it's blown out right there. So this seal is definitely blown out right there. And that's the culprit causing reverse not to get enough pressure to engage. And my next step, if that didn't work, would be to replace this shift solenoid, which is $132 on eBay. But, transmissions is about the only thing. A manual transmission I'll mess with, going and, replace the clutch and, change the gears or whatever, but I never mess with automatic transmissions because there's probably like 1,000 pieces up inside there and inside here. And you can take this apart and like check the springs and make sure the springs are good inside here. They'll put pressure on the solenoids as well to make sure it engages the gear. But they feel all these springs, sometimes these springs will break, but these feel like they're all still in one piece. So I'm not gonna take this apart and replace the springs. So I just figure it's the next step in evolution and learn how to deal with these automatic transmissions, take them apart, troubleshoot them, and fix them. All right, y'all. I'll keep you posted, but somebody got rid of the truck over a $3 seal. But it doesn't matter how much the part costs if you don't know how to get at it and get it right. So don't lose your vehicle over something stupid. Find you a good mechanic and stick with them. All right, y'all. Peace out.